Hello and welcome to Batch Your Books. Today we're going to learn how to bring invoices forward from a future period to the current period for payment. Let's go to our Batch Your Books payment home screen and right into period summaries. When we go into period summaries, the default view is the current period, which just means all transactions that have a due date that falls on or before the next scheduled payment date. We can find this payment date at the top of the screen. In this case, any transactions that have a due date prior to May 22nd, 2020 will fall in the current period. Invoices that have a due date that falls after the next scheduled payment date will fall in the future period. We can see the future period summary by using this filter at the top of the screen. We can set it to future, or we can set it to future by week. In our case, we're just going to want to set it to future. There might be situations where you're ready to pay an invoice that has a due date in the future and lies outside the current period. In order to pay that invoice, you have to authorize the invoice first and then bring the due date forward so that it falls within the current period. There are two ways to bring an invoice forward. Users can bring invoices forward one at a time, or they can bring multiple invoices forward together at once. So looking at our future period summary, let's go into our list of open transactions for Cosmos distributors. In both cases, the first step is to authorize the invoices that we want to bring forward, which we can do by marking the A column and then hitting update at the bottom of the screen. So I'm just going to mark these top 4 invoices to authorize, go to the bottom of the screen and hit update. So they've been removed from the list of open transactions, but let's set our status to authorized. And there our 4 transactions are. So let's bring this top one forward to the current period. We do this by clicking on the invoice number, changing the due date here to the current payment date, then updating at the bottom of the screen. If we go back into period summaries and in the current period, we see that we now have one invoice brought forward for authorized for payment for $133.60. Let's go back into the future period and take care of those other 3 invoices. So as we can see, we have these 3 authorized transactions for $377.28. Now you might not want to go through the process of updating them one by one. So what we can do is we can click on this clock icon here, which will bring everything forward. Let's click on it. Okay, are we sure we want to move these 3 authorized Cosmos distributors transactions to the current period? Let's hit OK. Okay, we're now back in the current period, as you can see here, and we have 4 transactions for a total of $510.88. So we brought those 4 invoices forward using 2 different methods, one by one or all together. And that's how you bring an invoice forward. If you have any questions, please email us at support@batchforbooks.com. Thanks for listening.